Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Another After Pill live stream. It's been about a week and a half since I did a live stream. I've just been busy putting in these hours, man. Putting in these hours, at work. I got to get to the money by any means necessary. I got to get to all the money, right? Not just the YouTube bag. I got to get to every other bag that I could possibly get to. But what's going on? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday for you ninjas who have a job, right? I know y'all ready for Friday for you ninjas who have a job, right? What's going on with y'all? How was y'all week, right? How was y'all week? What y'all got planned for the weekend? Probably nothing because ninjas ain't got no money, right? But y'all already seen the title, so y'all already know we're about to get into. Man, this is very important, right? This is very important. Like everything that I say, but this one specifically is very important, right? I'm gonna blow somebody head gasket off with some of these talking points, but I'm starting to notice a trend, right? I'm starting to notice a trend, and I want to test my theory because what I've been seeing across, you know, the manosphere, what I've been seeing across, the quote unquote red pill space, right? I'm noticing a trend, right? And I want to see how long this can go on, right? And I know I deep down I know I'm right. Not even deep down, right? Not even deep down I know I'm right. I know I'm right, right? We're gonna let some more people slide up in here, right? We're gonna let some more people slide up in here. But I think I'm gonna be the first one to actually tackle this topic right here, right? I was just sitting back. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I'm just sitting back, just just watching the space, right? Just watching the clanosphere, just watching the quote unquote manosphere. It's not even the manosphere anymore, it's the bitchosphere, right? Because we have a bunch of clowns, right, in what was supposed to be, right, a male centric self-development, right, type of space, right? It was supposed to be the great awakening for the modern day man, right? Well, it ain't none of that no more. It ain't none of that. Uh Myron Gaines is off the deep end, right? Andrew Tate, as intelligent as he is, he's off the deep end, right? You have more creators going far right, right? And truth be told, man, this is clear as day to me, right? They found a hole in the system. They found a loophole in the system, right? They found the grift. They found a major grift. And that major grift is amongst white men, right? Jay, what's going on? That grift is amongst especially young white males. Let's talk about it. Come on in and hit that like button, right? If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, right? Right? The new YouTube manosphere, right? The new YouTube red pill, right, is to string young white men along, right? And don't get it twisted. This is for men overall, right? All men, especially in the West, are being sold a dream, right? Most of these guys, they have no real solutions, right? They're just rage baiting. They're trying to get you emotionally riled up, right? They're trying to get you just charged up, ready to do something, but offering no solutions. They just want to feed the anger, right? In most men, and specifically young white men. They just want to feed the rage, feed the I don't know where to go because everything is changing. They want to feed that, right? And they know it's a market for it. There's a huge market for it. Corey 25, what's going on? But there's a huge market for it now, right? Because what's going on in the world right now? Or let's just stick to the West right now. What's going on in the West right now? Right? Men in general have lost their place, right? Men in general, right? Men in general don't know which way to go, right? Men are lost right now. Men are extremely lost right now. There are no real masculine leaders today. There are no real leaders, right? Said Aiden Smack said Myron is donezo. He went straight up extremist. Yeah, Myron is done. A lot of the content that I see from Myron now, and I used to respect Myron's intelligence, right? I used to respect Myron's intelligence. And he is, don't get it twisted. Myron Gaines he is intelligent, right? He is intelligent. But now I feel like he went off the deep end because that's largely what his following is. Right? Y'all gotta understand. Like, and I've said this before, most of this space, right? And I don't even want to put myself in this space anymore, right? Because I see it for what it is, right? It used to stand for something. It started off as something, and then it just crumbled. It just crumbled, right? But most men, to be quite frank with you, are losers. Most of the men who are following Myron Gaines were losers, right? Most of the men who are following Andrew Tate were losers, right? All these guys were incel losers, right? And I remember when Fresh and Fit first started, right? I remember when Fresh and Fit first started. They would have the ladies on the panel, and those will be some of their highest rated videos. Why? Because they'll be clowning the women. Ah, you dumb bimbo, right? All you good for is putting stuff down your throat, you dumb bimbo, right? Those videos will go through the roof, right? Cartier, what's going on? Those videos will go through the roof, right? But when they would do their economics videos, when they would do their how to make money videos, right? When they would do those videos, guess what would happen, right? The videos would drop off because largely men in today's society in 2025, right? Men in general, right, do not want any solutions, right? And that could be part of the reason why a lot of creators they just follow the mindset of their followers, right? Let me go ahead and put the moderations on. We got enough people in. But now they just follow the trend of where their followers go, right? Most men are losers. Most men are losers. And that's probably a key reason. That's probably a key reason why he went off the deep end, right? And I've said this plenty of times too, right? I'm kind of leaning in the middle. I'm like, damn, do I keep feeding these guys self-development, right? Should I keep feeding them, right? This is how you do this and this is how you do that, right? Or should I just go, F it, I'm just going to show you how it's done. If you want to follow it, cool. If you don't, hey, you can burn with the system, right? You can burn with the system. But you guys, like, you got your Andrew Tates, you got your Myron Gaines, you got your Officer Tatum, right? You got your the gay twins. What's the name of those guys? The twins, whatever the twins' name is. They're super cucks. Then you got your Anton Daniels, your Gayton Daniels. You got all these different people, right? They're essentially, because right now we're in a place where, like I said, men are not winning, right? Especially when you talk about the younger men. The younger men are not winning, right? Gen Z to millennials are not winning. Many of the women are doing far better than the Gen Z and millennial men. The women are, right? And then you throw in the current administration in there. You got to mix in the current administration in there, right? And then you got to mix in the nationalist movement in there, right? You got to throw in the white Christian conservative movement in there as well. You mix all those things in there, right? Then you get white male grievances, right? You have a whole movement. You have a whole movement of white men. They have no place anymore. They have no place anymore. So now that Trumpy Dumpy is in office and he's giving them a little bit of voice, right? He's giving them a little bit of voice, right? Now the creators are jumping off the deep end to feed into that anger, right? To feed into that racism, to feed into those grievances. It's happening, right? Many of these creators have found a loophole. Many of these, and to be honest, they're either one or two things. Either these ninjas are extremely smart and they just like, to hell with it. We're gonna catch the ball and run with it. Or these ninjas really went off deep end, right? Or it's a combination of all of them. Or it's a combination of all of them. Because I can't see the reason why people will literally negate the truth, right? Negate the truth by any means necessary, even if the truth is staring them right in the face. I don't see why else would they do it unless they have found a super duper loophole, right? Seen it for what it was. And mind you, I just discovered this a few days ago. I'm just sitting back. I'm always just sitting back and observing. I'm looking, interesting. 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 Right? All on X, all on Instagram, right? It's everywhere. Hodge twins, that's the name of them. Right? Listening to 304s every day for money will make any ninja go off the deep end. Yeah, I guess so. Frosty Tango says, bro, these people have no talent or skill. They don't draw or create their own media. They sit and criticize others. Exactly. The same thing goes for what's the Legion of Incels. The Legion of Incels, oh my God. Right? He exploded. Legion of Incels exploded off of doing reviews of other people's content. This ninja just sat there and the whole video, that ninja just sat there the whole video, Legion of Incels, right? He just sat there the whole video and just let the video play and just paused it. Yeah, listen guys. What's up, tribe? What's up, tribe? Yeah. What's up, tribe? Hi, tribe. Right? Ninja just sit there in this little dang on chair, right? Watching other people's videos. These ninjas, bro. A lot of these guys can't sit here. The type of content that I do, straight stream of thought content, bro, these ninjas cannot sit there and do the type of content that I do. And I'm not saying that I don't throw in reviews and stuff like that, but a lot of these guys, they can't sit there and actually think for themselves. That's why I can debunk most of these ninjas, whatever type of research or research that they've pulled off of freaking X or whatever the case, man, bro, I do the deep dive on stuff. Right? I do the deep dive on stuff. I can debunk probably most of what they're talking about. Cartier says their personalities don't allow it. Listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. But what's y'all opinion on all of this, right? Is there now a market? Is there now a market to sell to the white male grievances now? Right? I think there has been a lane created, especially after Trump was elected. Right? I mean, it was kind of already there already. It was kind of already there already before Trump got in office, 3-4 years ago when the manosphere really started, taking off. The market was already there. But I think now more than ever, we can see it. Right? We can see it now. We can see it. Right? Ninjas who were talking about other stuff now trying to, basically appease the white conservative nationalist, right, audience, which, for the most part, 80% of those guys are incels. Right? I think now more than ever, these guys are incels. Right? Frosty said, bro, they have always been an industry for lame white men. The thing is, it's less now, so they are drifting to all these grifters. Yeah, they are. And this is no shot. This is no shot. This is no shade. This is no shade to, to the white guys. This is no shade. Actually, you should be thanking me. I'm if you weren't thinking of this already, I am telling you that these ninjas are finessing you. Right? These ninjas are finessing you. Right? With the whole black fatigue, with the whole blaming everybody but what the real problems is, right? Blaming everything on the blacks, the immigrants, the goddamn on the Mexicans, the Indians, everybody taking your job, blase, blase, blah, right? Bro, the list goes on. They are literally putting wood on the fire just so they can make money. Facts. Facts. They're literally conjuring up issues that really don't exist, right? Amongst the masses, conjuring up issues that only many of these issues only exist on social media. I hope y'all know that. Blake Bradley, exactly. They're just saying what you want to hear. Many of these issues only exist on social media, right? Some of the extreme ideology. Not saying that some of these ninjas don't be extreme in real life. Some of the ass they really do be extreme in real life, right? Cartier, anything to pull in views, exactly. And that's why I can't respect none of these ninjas, right? I don't care how big your following is. I don't care if you got half a mil, a quarter, if you just hit 1 mil gay time, right? I don't care about any of that, right? If I can literally sit back and watch your video, right? And after the first 4 minutes, I can already tell that you already lying, but not even stating an opinion. Not even stating your opinion. You're sitting up there lying. These ninjas are sitting up there lying. Right? And this is why I always say, damn, is it even worth like saving ninjas? Is it even worth saving ninjas? Because these ninjas be they eat it up. These ninjas are dumb. Most of these ninjas are dumb. Right? Most Americans, they can't think to save their life. Right? Free thinking has exited out the door. Right? Free thinking no longer exists at all. Right? Cartier says it ain't, let the ninjas fail. I mean I actually have no choice. People who are serious will always tune in, for sure. But it's just crazy because you would think that people see the game, especially when you talk about the Democrats versus the Republicans and blase, blase, blah. You would think that people see the game. You would think that people understand that this is a game of cat and mouse, and this is not a game that the normal everyday Joe Smo can win with politics, can win with voting. Right? We're beyond those points now. But unfortunately, we still have a lot of white men are stuck in the matrix. I'm gonna tell you, I said this before, but a lot of white men are stuck in the matrix. Right? They where a lot of white men are faltering at, right? They're genuinely stupid. I know this since I was a kid. A lot of them are stuck in the matrix. Right? And a lot of them are incels as well. Right? Shouts out to the white guys. I'm just saying how it is. Right? A lot of them are still trying to hold on to the old system. A lot of white men are still trying to hold on to the old system. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. The old system is dead and gone. Dead and gone. Oh, oh, oh. I've been traveling on this road too long, trying to find my way back home. The old system is dead and gone, yeah. The old system dead and gone, man. It's dead and gone. But these ninjas, like, it's one dude, ugly ass dude. He be on Instagram. This dude be on Instagram. He a little Smeagol looking ass ninja, right? He all on Instagram, and he keep talking about some. He goes around asking people. He'll say something stupid. It's rage baiting content. He'll be like, do you think black people should be allowed to shop in the stores? And then just be like, what? He was like, do you think black people should be allowed to shop in stores? Then he'll walk up to white girls and, would you date a black guy? I'm like, bro, this country is doomed for men, bro. I'm like, bro. And then you got ninjas, you got these dudes online talking about some just race baiting, rage baiting content. And I'm just like, yeah, yeah, these ninjas ain't making it out. Like, I'm just looking through Instagram, ninja. I don't even comment, or I'm just looking at this like, yeah, this shit, yeah. Like, bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. For white men, y'all know what content I'm talking about. Y'all know what content I'm talking about. Then I seen the clip. Then I seen the clip of some white boy on Fresh and Fit. Some recent clip. The ninja, it was some dude on there. I recognize his face because I seen his content somewhere else. I recognize his face. Y'all know how Myron, he keeps the women around the circle or whatever, right? And I guess he was kicking some two black chicks off the show. And the white dude, the white dude was like, can I say the N word while they're walking out? Can I say the N word while they're walking out? And they got up and walked out. And he was like, get out, you stupid. I can't say it on YouTube. Get out of here, you stupid Hardy R. I'm like, bro, this shit is so cringe. Bro, and this is what I said this before, right? Because a lot of some white dudes tried to come for me when I dropped the video, the truth about the white American male, right? Well, Chicago and all that shit. I'm like, bro, how many times y'all gonna talk about Chicago? Like, bro, Chicago is Chicago. Chicago got Chicago issues, ninja. I ain't never seen shit like that happening. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Chicago. Like, ninja, it's Chicago. Like, every time you try to bring up something that's dealing with them, the first thing they go to is Chicago. I'm like, bro, it's like every single argument, right? A ninja could stay all the way in goddamn on New Mexico, ninja. That ninja could not even know black people like that, right? But he'll argue, well, ninja, Chicago. I'm like, ninja, I ain't never even been to Chicago. Why we talking about Chicago, ninja? Let's talk about what's going on in Oklahoma, ninja. Let's talk about what's going on in Texas, ninja. Let's talk about what's going on in Florida, ninja. Let's talk about what's going on in Middle America. As soon as you bring that up, Chicago, ninja be Chicago. Like, ninja don't even let you get it out. Well, the shooter, Chicago, right? When you start talking about mass shooting, well, throughout history, all the mass shooters have Chicago. I'm like, all right, ninja. Like, all right. But now we're in a world of rage baiting. Like, this is where we entered into in America now. Right? Everything is race baiting, rage baiting content. And this shit is so played out, right? Especially these ninjas walking around asking white girls, would you date a black guy? And clearly 70% of them say yeah. 70% of them say yeah. 75%, probably more than that. But it's like, bro, this is the issue. And I said this before. White men now have to grow up, young white men especially. Young white men now have to grow up in a time period, and ninjas are gonna get mad. They gonna whatever, unsubscribe. I don't give a damn, right? White men now have to grow up in a time period where you're not first pick. White men now have to grow up in a time period where the dynamics are shifting, right? Now you can't force your women to sleep with you now. right? I'm calling how I see it, right? These other ninjas, Anton, listen, these ninjas can get up to 500,000 and 1 million subscribers because they sit there and lie, right? They sit there and appease you ninjas' feelings like a bunch of bitches, right? That's why the after pill is the after pill. That's why you got some content creators. They'll never be Anton Daniels. There'll never be a legion of incels. There'll never be these big creators because I'm not finna sit back and coddle you ninjas. I'm not about to sit back and coddle you ninjas. I'm about to tell the truth. And I don't care, black, white, Hispanic ninja. I don't care. But white men now have to compete with everybody. Now they got to compete with ninjas. They keep bringing up Chicago all they want to. They keep bringing up dang on Detroit. I don't know, ninja. They keep bringing up all this shit they want to. But that's not going to change a thing. See, they want to back then, right? They had the leverage. Right? You got to think, man. You got to think. And like I said, this is no shot. This is just a history lesson, ninja. Y'all got to think. Bro, white men literally have to make laws to prevent their women from dating other groups of men. White men literally have to make laws, right, to prevent other groups from competing. Right? Just think about this shit. There were laws in place to prevent people from competing. Right? Come on now. Now, a lot of these ninjas, they want to walk around and then the ninjas who are walking around, right, talking about some, white superiority and all these stuff, these ninjas are Smeagol's. These ninjas are Smeagol's. Bro, and I'm baffled because the world is literally upside down. I'm looking at these ninjas. Bro, these are your leaders? These are your leaders, white nationalists? Nick Fuentes, ninja? A white Mexican is going to be a white little 5-foot Mexican is going to be your leader, ninja? Myron Gaines, a real African, this Sudanese ninja is gonna be your leader, ninja. Andrew Tate is gonna be your leader, ninja. He's a ninja. So you got a Mexican ninja. You got a Mexican, a Sudanese, and a half black ninja. Leading the foot of white nationalism, bro. Bro, I can't stand you ninjas, bro. Bro, this is hilarious. Bro, this shit is hilarious, bro. And I'm just sitting back watching. I'm sitting back watching the world burn like the Joker, ninja. I'm just sitting back watching the world burn like the Joker. I'm like, look how many ninjas, look how many ninjas start logging off when I started talking about their favorite creator. Ninja, and they can have money all they want to. That can't unlame you. That can't unlame you. Bro, you got a white Mexican, a Sudanese, and a goddamn half black dude up there talking about, come on now. And you got some of the biggest conservatives are some of the dang on black content creators. I'm like, bro, these are your leaders? Bro, y'all are fucked. Look, they all logging off. Listen, they left. Ninja, we had like 30, 40 people in here. These ninjas logged off. They can't handle the truth, man. Ninjas can't handle the truth. Like, it is what it is. Ninja, we can sit back. See, if I was talking about Chicago, see, if I was talking about Chicago ass ninja, ninjas sit back. Yep, them ninjas out of control in Chicago. Yep, them goddamn gangbangers up there. They ain't got no rule of law up there. It ain't no rule of law. All them ninjas need to be arrested. Trump need to do what he got to do. Now, like I said, I was telling another guy in the comment section, I was like, I can sit here and admit and acknowledge there's issues within the black inner cities. right? There's issues in places like Memphis. There's issues in places like Chicago with the black youth. I can sit here and acknowledge that all day long. I have no issue acknowledging that. Those are real issues that need to be addressed. But these ninjas are trying to lump all black people into the same boat. Like, what? Trust and believe, black inner city ninjas is not the same as them ninjas on the outskirts, ninja. Come on now. They're not one and the same. We're not the same. Ninja, I walk on the other side of the street when I see them ninjas coming too. Like, ninja, like when I see Ray Ray and Lil Man and them, yeah, I need to go ahead and go. Ninja. Right? But what they'll do is like the ninja that stabbed the immigrant on the train, right? The Ukrainian immigrant, right? Was she legal? Was she illegal? I don't know. Ninja. Right? The ninja that stabbed the immigrant on the train. Right? They tried to lump they wanted to lump all black men with this ninja. A lunatic, a homeless, schizophrenic lunatic. What? So y'all gonna lump everybody in with this lunatic? Gotcha. All right, ninja. It don't make any sense. But then when they start shooting up shit consecutively, right? When they start shooting up shit consecutively, ninja, churches, schools, right? Charlie Kirk, ninja. When they start shooting up shit, now ninja's like, no, he ain't white. He's a Democrat. What? He ain't white. That ninja was LGBTQ. What? But then when you try to separate the blacks, right? That ninja wasn't one of us. That was a lunatic ass ninja. That was a ghetto Ray Ray ass ninja. They like, no, he wasn't no Ray Ray ass ninja. That was all of you ninjas. That was all of y'all, ninja. That was all of y'all. That's y'all culture. That's y'all culture, ninja. I'm like, right. So yeah, a black doctor sitting behind you has the same likelihood of stabbing you in the neck than a schizophrenic ass ninja who's been arrested multiple times that looks like ninja. I seen the video, right? I was like, I wouldn't have sat in front of that ninja. What the hell was she thinking? I'm like, and I somebody who's rode public transportation and has rolled through, inner city, like, ninja, yeah, you got to be on point. When I said, bro, growing up, because I had to ride the train and the bus to go to school. I had to ride the train and the bus to go to school. When there was a certain crowd, and I was by myself for the most part. Most of the time I was by myself. When there was a certain crowd of guys that got on, right? Some thuggalicious bone ass niggas, right? When they got on the train, right? I got off that rail and went into another one, ninja. I'm not playing that junk. I'm by myself, ninja. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke, ninja. Right? I got off in, bro, you got to be on your P's and Q's. Clearly it was the inner city, right? Clearly there's certain things that come with the inner city, right? You don't get the same junk that you get in the suburbs, right? They try to lump all black people into the same category. When we're not a monolith, ninja, I don't associate with certain ninjas, right? Just like white people don't associate, the high class whites don't associate themselves with trailer park trash, right? It's the same thing. But, with us, with black people, we're the only group, right, that gets lumped in all together when shit happens. So now when you try to give them a taste of the same medicine, them niggas start crashing out. No, he wasn't white. He was not white. That boy was a liberal. Okay. No, he wasn't white. That ninja was an LGBTQ. I'm like, oh, so y'all allowed to separate. Y'all allowed to separate, huh, ninja? Y'all allowed to separate into categories. Oh, I thought that was illegal. My bad. I thought we was lumping everybody into the same thing, ninja. I thought we was lumping everybody into the same categories. My bad. I thought that's what we were doing, right? And cardio, exactly. I ain't sitting nowhere near such ninjas, black, white, whatever. Bro, I don't care who it is. I'm watching all angles, ninja. I see a white dude walking up to me. I'm like, ninja, what you want, ninja? I'm doing that to everybody, ninja. I see a Vato walking up, like, ninja. All right, now, ninja, what's up? What's going on? I ain't got no gas money. All right, ninja, go on about your business, right? But now we stay in the world. Now we stay in the world that is changing for white men, right? For the first time in history, white men have to deal with everything everybody else have to deal with, and still don't even have to deal with it to the same extent. Ninjas are getting not even the whole dose. Like, white men are not even getting the whole dose, but they show is getting the dose. Right? They thought, because long before, right? Long before in the history, the government looked after white men. Like I said, this is no shot. This is no shot at white men. This is literally just having dialogue, right? I'm not your favorite your favorite YouTuber, Legion of Incels, right? Pushing out propaganda and all that bullish, right? I'm not Gaetan Daniels pushing out propaganda. I'm not them ninjas, right? Right? We stick to the facts, right? But throughout history, the government has looked after white men, right? Or the government has looked after the white class. Or let's go before that. Let me give you just a history lesson, ninjas. Let me give you ninjas a history lesson, right? White people didn't even exist pre 1600s. White people did not exist, or the classification of white people didn't exist pre 1600s. It didn't exist, right? And guess what? And you see how they always, and I'm not talking about white individuals, I'm talking about the white system, right? They always tried to paint the black man as violent. Oh, he's a rapist. He's a this, he's a that. Pre 1600s, what you think Europe was doing? Pre 1600s, what you think Europe was doing? The English did not like, and this was their classification. You had the English, you had the Irish, you had the Germans, right? You had the Italians, right? And with the Italians, it was a northern Italians and a southern Italians. The northern Italians didn't even think that the southern Italians were Italian, right? And then you had your Norwegian ninjas. Guess what? The Germans didn't like nobody, and nobody liked the Germans. Ninja. Nobody liked the Germans, and the Germans didn't like nobody. You had the English against the Italians. They were killing each other in Europe, right? They were killing each other in Europe. But guess what? When they start selling the goddamn on Earth, ninja, they said, "Oh, we got ninjas to kill, ninja. We got the indigenous over there, right? We got the Taino in the Caribbean, right? We got the Africans over here, West Africans, right? We got the indigenous tribes over here in Southern America, right? And south of the border, what we now know as Mexico, Central America. We got the indigenous. Oh, we got an enemy now. And guess what? When the Portuguese started selling, because the Portuguese was one of the first to do it, right? When the Portuguese started selling, right, and they conquered what we now know as Brazil, much of that area over there, right? Portuguese was the first to do it. Then everybody else followed suit, right? Everybody else followed suit, right? They had to go and check out my content and see what the hell I'm talking about. They was like, who is this ninja going off on white men, right? But the Portuguese was the first to do it. Then everybody else followed. You had the English Empire, and then you had everybody else, the Spaniards, and everybody else followed suit. So once they seen that they can make a profit off of the transatlantic slave trade, right? So you had slaves, you had sell over there to West Africa, right? Trade for goods and all that stuff, human capital, however you want to, the enslaved African, and then boom, they hit that triangle, boom, they went to the Caribbean, South America, all through South America, right? North America, boom, 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 and it was back at it again, They figured out how to make money, right? And the argument, well, Africans were selling each other too. Well, yeah, and I do agree with that sentiment. I do agree with that sentiment. But they leave key details out when they say Africans were involved, right? Africans were very well involved. They sold. You had different tribes against different tribes. Tribes were selling captives, right? Prisoners of war and things of that nature, right? The Africans didn't think that these niggas were gonna conquer inland, right? They were just doing business, right? They gave the Africans guns, and the niggas who they gave guns, they turned it on the other Africans. Were like, yeah, get y'all ass over here, ninja, right? Get y'all ass over here, ninja, right? Yeah, here you go, Mr. White Man, here you go, Mr. European, right? But then before you know it, they just start coming inland, and then yeah, ninja, we want all y'all, ninja, yeah, we want all y'all. But anyway, where was I going with that? The reason why the white classification came about is because the Portuguese was involved in the transatlantic slave trade. The Spaniards were involved in the transatlantic slave trade. The Norwegians, right, were involved in the transatlantic slave trade. I may be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. The Portuguese, English, who else? The Spaniards, right? Europe was now involved in the transatlantic slave trade. So guess what? They start doing business together. So now they develop. If y'all didn't know, the Italians weren't even classified as white. None of these people were classified as white. Just so y'all know, they didn't call themselves white. They were Germans. They were Portuguese. They were Spaniards. They were Italians, right? Norwegians, right? That's what their classifications, right? They were known by their nationality, and that was linked to the ethnicity, right? That's how the white classification came along. It came along because they needed a classification to keep people down and make sure that this class of people were always on top. They had to come up with a classification to keep the system going. That's how it is. That's how it was. And you still see it today. You still see it in many places today, right? And you see in many places, you see the shambles that colonization has left on many places of the world. Right? Then the transatlantic slave trade turned into basically colonialism, and then colonialism basically transferred into the modern day banking system, the modern day infrastructure, right? Because best believe if you're one of the first to do it, then you're one of the first to do it, right? If I was to go kidnap a baby, and not saying YouTube, that's not what I'm saying. I'm giving an example, a hyperbole, ninja. Right? If I were, argument's sake, if I were to go kidnap a baby and hold it captive, right, for 18 years, and then let that baby go, you think that baby is going to go out into the world and know exactly what's going on and know exactly how to act and maneuver as a grown adult? No. Hell, capital H no. Right? Got to put the disclaimer. Ninja gonna send the feds. Go. Kidnap who? Right? But now, fast forward to today, now we're seeing cracks in that very system, right? And white men are also seeing cracks in that very system. Now, white men for the very first time in history have to view the world the way that everybody else viewed the world. Oh, and better yet, has always viewed the world, right? See, it was so easy picking on the blacks. Right? It was so easy picking on the blacks, and that's a whole thing in itself, ninja. That's a whole thing in itself. Like, the whole classification of color is just idiocy, right? This hat is black, right? Look at my skin. My skin is dark brown. My mustache is black. My hat is black. My skin is brown, right? So the classifications are just a justification to uphold the system, right? That's all it was. But now, white men now have to deal with the same things that everybody else has to deal with, right? That's why meritocracy, when they start getting up there talking about meritocracy, that shit is a sham. Come on now. Meritocracy, since when? Right? We need to go back to meritocracy. America has never been a meritocracy. The world has never been a meritocracy. That's bullcrap. When that first came out their mouth, I was like, yeah, they bullshitting. Yeah, they bullshitting. Ninja, some jobs I got wasn't even based on meritocracy, ninja. Some jobs that I got wasn't based on meritocracy, right? I knew somebody, ninja. I knew somebody that got me in the door. Some of the positions that I have held wasn't based on meritocracy or experience or my resume. But these niggas trying to get up there and basically gaslight the world, like gaslight America, like, yeah, we need to go back to merit based. Y'all got to be kidding, right? We need to go back to where you got hired based on your qualifications and your skills. Oh, really? What year was that? Like, when, when was that, ninja? When was that? Meritocracy, ninja? What? When was that, ninja? What year? What century was that, ninja? Never. It was never. Never. That's the word. Never ever. Right? So like I said, it was so easy. It was so easy back then, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, right? Yeah, the blacks, man, they yeah, the fathers are not there. Fathers are not there, responsible for what's going on in the projects and all that shit. Yeah. Goddamn blacks, man. Right? It was so easy doing that. Right? And not saying that that isn't or wasn't, you know, key issues. But that's a whole history lesson in that. But we ain't talking about the blackity blacks today. We ain't talking about Chicago. We ain't talking about the inner city. We ain't talking about that shit today. We talking about the whitey whites. That's what we talking about. Every dog gotta have their day. We ain't talking about the Vatos. We ain't talking about the Mexicans. We ain't talking about none of that. We talking about the whitey whites. That's what we talking about. Okay? But now they have to deal with their women not being not choosing them. He said the black to black. Right? Shouts out to Cardiac, great live. Appreciate the content. I appreciate that, man. Now they have to deal with their women not always having them or wanting them as the first choice. Right? And that's why these ninjas are walking around doing content, right? Because there's a market for it. There's a market for it. Right? There's a market for it. Would you ever sleep with a black man? Ninja, what? Bro, some of this content, and this is why I call them the cuck-servatives. This is why I call them the cuck-servatives. Many of these guys, man, and I'm not saying all of y'all, but many of these guys, man, they think about BBC before the chicks do. I'm just saying. They think about BBC before some of the chicks do. And it's really, really weird, ninja. It's really weird. Just the whole history on that, ninja. Even the whole history on that. Yeah, if she sleep with a black man, that's just the end of it. That's just the end of it. Right? She can't come back. She can't come back. Ninja, who asked you? Who asked you, ninja? And why is that a thing anyway? Why is that a thing anyway? But it just goes to show you, right? The so-called superiors, right? Every single step of the way, right? Throughout history, they had to put people down. They had to invent laws. Shit, you had interracial laws, ninja. You couldn't marry no white girl back then, right? That had to go through the Supreme Court. Right? That had to go through the Supreme Court. Right? And granted, ninja, I gotta give appreciation where it's due. I gotta give appreciation where it's due. White men, white society did set with all the shit that they did, ninja, all the atrocities that they created. They did create a nice looking society, ninja. Right? You gotta throw a compliment in there, they did create a nice looking society. This look pretty good, ninja. Yeah, all the goddamn on murder and genocide. This shit better have turned into something, right? All the enslaved, the goddamn on Africans y'all brought over here, ninja. Yeah, it better look like something, ninja. Y'all niggas didn't have to build a goddamn thing. All y'all had to do was hold the gun and goddamn put them ninjas on ships and bring them over there and crack the goddamn on whip. So this America better look like something, ninja. Like it better look like something. Shit. All the goddamn on work. All the goddamn on work. My lineage, ninja, like, right? This better look like something, right? And ninja, like it's a whole little shit. Right? Why is grown man worried about a woman liking a certain color man? That shit is so weird. That shit is so weird, right? In 2025, right? Pretty good until they gave women power. But check this, Blake. Check this, Blake. White men were the ones that did it. It was the white dudes gave their women power. They did that. It wasn't the liberals. It wasn't them ninjas. Bro, the cucks did that. The conservatives did that. They did it. They gave their women power. They the ones that did it. And now they complaining. Right? Y'all gotta take that up with y'all grandpappies, ninja. Y'all gotta take that up with Paw and them. Right? But then they gonna find some kind of way to swing it. Right? They were the first ones. Believe it or not, white men were the first ones to lose hold of their women. They were. And y'all gotta realize, white women are white women are a whole entity in themselves. Right? Y'all gotta understand, bro, I'm about to say something crazy. Bro, white women really don't like white men like that. They don't. Ninja about to crash out. I already see ninjas crashing out. Ninjas logging out. What the fuck is he talking about? Get this goddamn on ninja. This goddamn ninja on here talking about Paw. Come look at this ninja. Paw. Come, this ninja. I see ninjas crashing out right now, ninja. Ninjas crashing out right now. Bro, white women really don't like white men like that. They don't. Right? Oh, ninja, I don't, Loon Noir. Bro, I've been past that phase. I don't like white women either, ninja. Like, I don't like them either, ninja. They cool to look at. Yeah, oh yeah, she fine. Like, she gotta be some Norwegian type shit. She gotta be some Scandinavian type shit, some 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" type shit, some long legs, blonde. Like, she got to look like some you know when I don't know for you guys who've ever seen some European type shit. I'm talking like Gen Z, right? Y'all ever seen some European type shit, right? That look indigenous. She looked like indigenous white, right? Not American white. Yeah. Indigenous white, right? Indigenous. Russian women look very indigenous. They look very tribal, right? American women don't have that tribal look, right? If I do go for a white woman, it'll be a tribal type white woman, like a Russian woman, Scandinavian, Norwegian, right? Something like that. But ninja, I don't want white women either, right? If you ever see me, ninja, you're gonna see me with the Latinos. That's what you're gonna see me with. That's what you're gonna see me with. If she is a little lighter complected, ninja, she's a Latina. Best believe it. Right? And I like all women. I don't discriminate. I don't do that Fruit Loop type junk. Right? I like them chocolate, right? And I like them lighty. But if they lighty or chocolate, ninja, they probably be a Latina, right? Latinas are the only, well, black women too, but Latinas are the only ones that you can get every shade of color that you can think of, and she just have that Latin look, right? She can be dark skinned, right? Go to Brazil, go to Colombia, right? Go to Dominican Republic, go to Cuba, right? Go to any one of these places, right? And she could be dark skinned, but she got that indigenous Spaniard Afro look, right? I'm going on a whole tangent. Now, Sydney Sweeney is a drunk night. Sydney Sweeney is mid. Sydney Sweeney is mid. She is mid. She just got big tits. That's it. Sydney Sweeney is nothing to look at. Sydney Sweeney is nothing to look at. If she was a regular everyday citizen, I would see her. If she didn't have her cleavage out, I will walk right by Sydney Sweeney. I swear to God. Sydney Sweeney is mid at best. Mid, super mid. I see better looking snow bunnies on a regular basis. No. Sydney Sweeney is no. She ain't that. But anyway, what was I talking about? But white women, well, I was talking about white women. White women are on they're their own entity as well. Right? And that's why it's funny when the whitey whites, the cuck conservatives start talking about, well, black men don't have control over their women. Ninja, y'all don't either. Ninja, what? What? Just because, bro, the difference between white women and black women is white men have held power for a long time now, right? They've upheld the system in the West that their women understand and know. Black men are just now getting a taste of that, right? Black men and other men are just now getting a taste of that power. They're just now getting a taste of that resources, right? So black women, they already look at ninjas like, y'all ninjas ain't shit. Right? Black women, that's a whole history lesson in itself. There's a bunch of history lessons with all these different topics. Right? But white women know that they can have Brad, right? White women know that they can go back to Brad, right? Because they still have the system in large, right? The system still benefits them, right? And at the end of the day, dang on Tanner and Brad, they gonna take it. Loon said something. Loon said something crazy right there. He says white men are willing enforcers of the system that disadvantages men. Come on now. He said it now. He said it. That's exactly what's going on. White men are enforcers of a system that disadvantages men. Come on now. That's why I removed myself from the red pill. I removed myself from the quote unquote manosphere. Bro, this shit has turned into a full-fledged, it's turned into clanosphere, right? It's turned into a full-blown clanosphere, right? It started off as men trying to basically help other men, right? Or creating echo chambers to where men can get on par with one another. We're builders of men, we want all men to succeed. Society's affecting all men. It started off like that, right? But then you started to see the separations, right? Loon says manosphere is just cope content. I agree with some of it, but most of it is slop. Bro, even the stuff that you can agree with, bro, dudes are just sitting there listening. Most dudes are not doing anything with it. Since this mainstream inception, not even mainstream. If you want to take it back 5 years ago, right? 5-6 years ago. And some guys have been around even before, right? It was even called the manosphere or red pill way before, 5-6 years ago. But really when it got popular, right? Really around the pandemic, right? Fast forward to today. Where are men now? Where are men now? Men have not gotten better at all. Men have not gotten better at all. Bro, since I've quote unquote been awakened or came into myself, right? Became the man that these guys talk about, right? I've made several different changes. Many different changes. Do I fall short sometimes? Of course, we all do. But I tell my woman exactly what needs to be said, right? I'm more myself, right? I have an abundance mindset, right? I know and understand that I'm not just a one woman man, right? I'm not a one woman man. I need multiple women, right? Now I can sit here and tell a woman that if she don't want to mess with it, goodbye, right? I've changed states, changed jobs, right? Got into a bigger bag, right? YouTube is now on track, right? Got my passport. I done traveled a little bit, right? I've seen what some of these passport bros were talking about. I'm like, this may be heaven, ninja, right? I've literally transformed my life. I'm in great shape, right? And I've slacked off a little bit with my working out, but that's just because I work a lot. That's because I work a lot, right? But I'm in great shape, bro. These ninjas literally sat down for 5 years, ninja. Bro, they've sat back and laughed with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate back then. Andrew Tate did spit some knowledge, right? Back then, Myron Gaines did spit some knowledge. Back then, a lot of these guys did spit a lot of knowledge. They did, because this was the knowledge that men were missing. Men needed, right? This was the knowledge that men needed, right? And they just sat there like little fucking Smeagol's, stuffing their face with pizza. Ninjas 5 years in, right? 5 years in, ninjas still work at Wally World. Ninjas still work at Jiffy Lube. Ninja, you been at Jiffy Lube 5 years. You ain't made a move yet. Ninja, you still stay in buttfuck Oklahoma. Ninja, you have done nothing with your life. So these clanosphere ninjas, right? These incels, these keyboard Yaxies, right? These are the same ninjas from 5 years ago. These are the same guys, right? These are the same guys from 5 years ago who are still, they just became more extreme. That's it. That's it. It was just a transformation. And guess what? These ninjas seen a loophole, right? They basically said, you know what? These ninjas not listening to us. These niggas not listening to us. They're not paying for this self-development ish. They're not paying for this self-development ish, right? So you know what? Let's grift on their ass, right? It seems like race is a big thing right now. So let's make some money off of that, bro. These some of these guys are intelligent, right? Andrew Tate is super intelligent, right? I'm not taking that from Myron Gaines is intelligent. Right? I wouldn't by far be surprised if these ninjas just grifted into the race baiting content just to make money off of racist white men. Bro, it wouldn't be surprised. Right? I wouldn't be surprised. That should white males feel as net taxpayers for another ethnic group. See, look at Ascended Scorpion. See, that's the mindset. He's probably one of Legion of Men probably sent this ninja over here. Right? He says are white males net taxpayers? Are black males net taxpayers? How should white males feel as net taxpayers for another ethnic group? Ninja, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Are you actually asking a question? Are you actually asking a question, or are you trying to insinuate that white males are what the fuck are you talking about? You can't just make a blanket statement. Come at me with numbers. Come at me with numbers so I can verify your numbers. You're just making blanket statements. This is what a lot of these content creators do now. Right? That's basically what he's saying, Cartier. How should white ninjas feel about paying taxes for ninjas? Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you? That swim lock. That's what I'm talking about. Like, what are you talking about? Bro, everywhere I go, I see black people working. What? I don't know where y'all stay at, Ninja. Y'all must stay in Chicago or something, Ninja. It must be that bad in Chicago, Ninja. Or Memphis. Bro, everywhere I go, ninjas are working. What the F are y'all talking about? Right? If you go to the inner city, yeah, you got ninjas on the block. You got ninjas, homeless ninjas, like, duh. Just like when I go to dang fuck Oklahoma or Midland, Texas, ninja, right? Or even here, ninja, in the DFW area, ninja, every time I go downtown, I have yet to see a black homeless person. Where I'm at, I have yet to see a black homeless person. I've probably seen one or two, and I'm telling the God on this shoe, the most homeless I've seen out here is white men and white women. Swear to God. But this ninja, this is what I'm talking about. Bro. You're not even using your brain. That's just dumb. You can get on a federal database right now and look and see that the average black male is in the middle class. You can go and check this stuff. As a matter of fact, I can name one right now, blackdemographics.com, right? All of their sources come from federal databases. Go to blackdemographics.com and actually look and see where the black man falls at. The average black male makes middle class income. That whole shebang, it's a racist talking point. It's an incel talking point, right? The whole food stamp situation, the whole Medicaid situation. All the black people on food stamps. Ninja, bro, more white people on food stamps. Right? Oh, well, per capita, ninja, more white people are on food stamps, ninja. Right? Do you even know what? See, ninjas don't even have like education. This is why America is gonna fail the way that it is, right? Because Americans have a severe lack of real knowledge and history, right? The social services was never even created for minorities, ninja. Do you know what the social services were who it was created for, ninja? It was created originally for white women. Come on now, bro. Bro, they gotta pay me to teach history lessons, man. Ninjas don't even know history. Social services were originally for white women. Why wasn't it originally for white women? Because the original deadbeat dad was the white man. Come on now, let's talk about it. Bro, the safety nets wasn't for ninjas. That safety net wasn't for ninjas. It was for white women. So when Brad got crazy and started going up her damn head, when Brad start fucking Sydney on the side, right? And he was like, and she was 30 years old, and Sydney was a young 21-year-old, right? When he wanted to put a ring on that Punani and get rid of the old Punani, right? That's what that social services were for, ninja. That's what that was for, right? And then of course, white women drag black women into it, because we already know, pre-civil rights, black families were married at an 80-90% rate. Black families were more married than white families, right? But it is not until white women dragged black women into the feminist movement. Why? Because white women wanted a taste of white men's power. And the only way they knew that they can do that, because the civil rights movement was very successful, they knew the only way that they can do that is through black women. And that is what they did. And that is one of the main reasons why black women abandoned the nuclear family, because they wanted a taste of white women's power. Come on now, bro. I can keep going down this rabbit hole. I can keep going down this rabbit hole. Keep going. Ascended Scorpion. You per capita is a bad faith argument. per capita is a bad faith argument. It really is. Because we can break down the history of social services. We can keep going. We can keep going down that train. But the fact of the matter is, your assumption is saying, well, white men pay. This is all you said. You said white men pay basically for black people. That's what you said. That's essentially what you said. But Ninja, Ninja, I work. Many black people work. Ninja, I'm on track to make another 6 figures this year. Right? And then I do YouTube. Right? And then I'm working on some other stuff. And I get mad as hell when I look at my pay stub and I see all the taxes that come out. Do you see me sitting up here talking about some Ninja, no. Well, my tax money go to black people. My tax money keep going to all these goddamn blacks, blah 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 blah. Ninja, bro, there's a bunch of white people on social. That's my point. That is my point. See what the incels like to do, what the racists like to do, what these far right idiots like to do. They want to single out black people and bring up the per capita argument. Right there, they negate the whole fact that other groups of people are on there. They negate the fact that damn near 50 to 60% of white people are also on social services as well. But they bring up the per capita argument. They like to single out the black people all the time with every other issue. With every issue, they want to single out the black. Well, per capita, per capita, per capita, per capita. They want to single out that issue all the time. But I can sit here and say, every white bum I drive by, Ninja, I'm paying for that shit. The hell is you talking about? Every white person every single white mama I see, I'm paying for her shit. Ninja, the fuck are you talking about? Come on now. Now you want to talk about anecdotal. That's not anecdotal. Now you want to talk about anecdotal. See, these ninjas, they keep on moving the goalposts. They keep moving the goalposts. Keep on moving the goalposts. He gonna keep moving the goalposts. That's why you can't argue. You can't argue with people who already have their mind made up. You can't argue with racists. You can't argue with bigotry. You can't argue with any of these ninjas because their mind is already made up. Right? No profile picture. Right? I don't know who this ninja is. It's the same old game. It's the same old game. They've been doing this since the beginning of time, bro. Right? Even pre civil rights, nigga. Post slavery, ninja, they've been doing this. Yep, you see all those blacks over there? They be raping white women. Bro, that was a whole what was the name of that movie that they played in the White House back in the day? Something about America. They played some movie in the White House that basically it painted black men as rapists and all this type junk. All kinds of criminality, all that stuff. Right? This was post-slavery. They made this movie. And this movie was the reason why black codes came into effect. This movie was the reason why Jim Crow laws came into effect, because it scared the shit out of white people. But it was all propaganda. Right? It was all propaganda. And it was the reason why black codes and Jim Crow came about. I forgot the name of it. I wish I really remember. But it's funny how they painted the black males as these, brutes and these rapists, right? And given history, ninja, I'm like, bro, yeah, y'all look, bro, these are the funniest, bro. White people, and I'm not talking about white, like every white person. I got to keep on saying that. But white people are some of the funniest gaslighting ass motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. Hands down. Bro, they can sell your candle to you, ninja. Bro, I swear to God, they can sell your candle to you. They can sell your car to you, ninja. Right? Bro, historical context tells us who were the real brutes, who were the grapists, right? Who was the robbers, who were the thieves, right? History tells us that. Bro, it's funny. That is so funny that it was coming out of slavery. It was coming out of slavery, and then they literally painted the black males as the criminals, as the brutes, as the grapists. Yeah, you need to stay away from him because he's gonna grape you. And they literally created fearmonger amongst white America after slavery. Yeah, these niggas gonna do that. It is so hilarious. It is so hilarious. These ninjas literally graped and all kinds of shit on the plantations, on the slave boats, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. But then we're the brutes? Come on now, this shit is hypocritical. It is super hypocritical. Right? And then you and then they try to hit you with the, well, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Ninja, black people had their own neighborhoods. There were doctors, there was attorneys, right? Or did y'all forget? But you know what's funny? Because when you talk about a situation like Tulsa, for instance, right? When you talk about Tulsa, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? The black prosperity was some of the richest in that area in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? The black people ended up succeeding better than a lot of the whites in that area, right? They had their own shit. They didn't even, they were segregated away from the whites. They were segregated away from the whites, right? They had their own stuff. But guess what the whites had to do? Guess what the whites had to do? They had to go over there and bomb it, throw flamethrowers, ninja. Yeah, burn them ninjas shit down. Yeah, burn it down, ninja. Burn it down. Yeah, these niggas think they about to make more. These niggas think they about to make more money than us. These niggas ain't about to make that. This is our country. If we ain't making no money, none of you niggas making no money. They burned the whole shit down. Right? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, though. Right? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Right? Then they burn shit down. Then they lock you out of the job market. Then they lock you out of the housing market. Right? One of the main reasons a lot of you ninjas, Papa got money is because he was able to buy a house in a great neighborhood, and then he was able to profit off of that house. That's why Papa got all that money. That's why Papa got all that money, right? But they like to leave out major details. They like to leave out major details. Like, ninja, are y'all serious? And I'm not even a victim. I'm not even a victim mindset type of ninja, right? I could care less, ninja. I mean, it's 2025 at this point. I can give a damn about a white ninja, black ninja, Mexican ninjas. I don't give a flip. I really don't care. Ain't no white ninja stopping me. Ain't no black ninja stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me. I'm gonna get to where I need to get, or shove some ninjas out the way, right? So I don't even have that mindset. But history does matter. The process of how we got here does matter, right? And they quick to talk about, man, y'all need to forget about that. Slavery was a long time ago, ninja. Slavery was a long time ago. They love to say that. They love to say that ish. But everything that comes out of their mouth be some off the wall, racist country monkey ass shit. The Allen Show, what's going on? The Allen Show, I'm just giving a history lesson. Right? That's all I'm doing. Because if you negate certain facts, you're negating all facts. Right? But shouts out to the Allen Show, man. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to the Allen Show. He over there in the Philippines. Well, the Philippines or Thailand? Oh, Thailand. Oh, Trent Henderson did move. Shouts out to Trent Henderson too. Congrats to Trent Henderson for moving to Thailand. Shouts out to Trent Henderson. He over there. But yeah, ninja, like, we got to acknowledge all facts in history. Right? Not just some of it. Not just Chicago, ninja. Not just Chicago. We know Chicago's an issue, right? I don't want to be around them ninjas either, right? The same way I wouldn't want to be around Billy ass either. I wouldn't want to be around Billy, country bunking, racist, gun toting ass. I'm gonna kill all the you know who's and them ninjas, right? I don't want to be around them ninjas either, right, ninja? That's how you know ninjas ain't traveled. Ninjas either being biased or they have never traveled, right? Ninjas either never traveled, right, or just being biased. Because I promise you, travel through Oklahoma, travel through Texas, ninja, travel through New Mexico, ninja, travel through Louisiana, ninja, right? Travel, ninja, right? Come on now. But people like to be selective, right? People like to be selective, and y'all already know the after pill standpoint. I stand for all men, right? I stand for all men. I don't just stand for black men. I don't just stand for white men. I stand for all men, and I demonize all men too, right? When ninjas get wrong, yeah, I'm on y'all ass, right? When white ninjas get wrong, I'm on their ass. When Mexicans start talking that mumbo jumbo ish, I'm on their ass. When them Indians start talking that nah, ninja, I'm on their ass too. Right? MSK said all the YouTube bros moving to overseas, but that's because that's where the money is gonna be now. I already told y'all. That's where the money is gonna be now. The money is moving overseas. The money is no longer in America. Not like that anymore. Right? You got to be getting a serious bag in the United States now. A serious bag. Right? And it ain't gonna change. It ain't gonna change. This is where we are. Right? So you either you're gonna get with it or get rolled over. Right? And I'm already predicting this anyway. I mean, most of y'all are gonna get rolled over, right? Especially if you ninjas, quote unquote red pill manosphere ass ninjas, right? Most of you gonna get wiped out anyway, right? Y'all ain't gonna bust a move, bust a grape, none of that, none of it, right? Yeah, it's gonna be a dark winter, right? And best believe, ninja, especially for the ones who stay. Yeah, everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Right? Y'all, ninjas, like I said, ninjas been watching Red Pill for 10 years, ninja. Ninjas been watching Red Pill for 5 years. Ninjas done bought all they books. Ninjas done bought all the courses. Ninja done signed up for the private group, ninja. Like what? Ninja still listen to Andrew Tate. Ninja still donate to Fresh and Fit. Ninja like ninja still donating to Fresh and Fit. Yeah, he right. He right. Ninja, like, come on now. Bro, this whole space is a joke. This whole space is a joke. Right? The whole manosphere has turned into a joke. Red Pill has turned into a joke. These YouTubers have turned into a joke. I used to respect some of these ninjas. Right? And I seen the grift, especially these ninjas who just trying to, bro. A lot of these ninjas are trying to make money off the white male grievances, right? For my white friends out there, I'm trying to warn y'all. I'm trying to let y'all know that these ninjas are exploiting that, right? These ninjas probably exploiting that. They realize that a white male anger can be monetized, right? White male grievances, white male anger can be monetized now. Right, this shit is clear as day. Bro, they grifted over to the the white male anger arena, right? The whole racist thing and the racist jokes and the incel, bro. They've leaned into the gamer chat rooms. That's all they did. They leaned more into the chat room style type of content. Sean Mason, what do I think about Coach Greg Adams? Coach Greg Adams is a GOAT. Coach Greg Adams is a GOAT. And Coach Greg Adams, I respect Coach Greg Adams because you have to watch Coach Greg Adams because he's made many different points. I've watched Coach Greg Adams when he talked about, different things. When he talked about, white people, when he talked about black people. Yeah, he make a lot of jokes on ninjas, but the reason why Coach Greg Adams is top of my list as far as respectability because I've literally heard him talk about the other side of the field. Right? I've heard him talk about the other side of the field. I've heard him talk about how he don't care what ninjas think, he don't care what white people think, he don't care about none of that. He gonna get to the bag. I've heard him go on his tangents about certain things, right? I've heard him solidify his stance. I know where he stands because I've heard him talk about many different points and bring it full circle to his own personal conclusion. I've heard it, right? But these other ninjas, nah. At the top of my list, Coach Greg Adams and Marquette Devon Burton. That is it. That I can name off the top of my head. As for some of the realest ninjas in this space. OGs. Right? And Coach Greg Adams is more of an OG than I think Marquette is. I may be wrong. But who I respect overall, because coach is on some even if the world burning around me, I'm gonna still get to it, and I'm gonna still get away from y'all. Right? Controlled opposition. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. It's some yeah. A lot of you won't hear me. You won't hear me going into too many details. Some things I like to keep to myself. Some things I like to keep to myself. Right? Sometimes I'll know exactly what something is. I won't speak on it though, because I wanna I gotta play on it. Right? But anyway, man, I'm hungry. There's certain things you can't even say on YouTube. Yep. But anyway, shouts out to everybody that tuned in. Shouts out to everybody that super chatted. Shouts out to everybody that hit that like button. Hit that like button on the way out. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.